Hello guys, welcome to a new Get Rekt gaming news video, and today I don't really have any news. Today I wanted to do something else for a change because the news has been pretty dry these past few days. Not gonna lie, it's pretty hard for me. The Persona leaks were very cool and Jet Set Radio as well. I covered that a ton with 2 videos and I got a lot of views on it. I want to thank you guys for that. But for some few days now, news has been pretty dry. We had the Final Fantasy State of Play that I want to talk about quickly, and the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Direct that I also just want to give my opinion on quickly. But that's for the end of the video, because now for this video I wanted to discuss when we could see the new big 2023 PlayStation showcase that we are still waiting on. And I wanted to make this kind of like a speculation video when we could see it, more like my insight of when I can predict that the PlayStation showcase will be. I thought that would be a fun thing to do because we are now at the middle point of April and we can safely now basically speculate on when we will see this PlayStation showcase. Let's get into it. As you guys all know, the beginning of June most of the time is the E3 period. This most of the time goes from, I think, June 8th up until the middle of June, somewhere up until June 15th, where we have the early summer announcements. And this year's Summer Game Fest will also be, I think, on June 8th, starting off all the summer events. And then we have the Xbox Showcase on the 12th of June, or the 11th, I could be wrong. And Ubisoft will also have a showcase, and I think other ones will follow. Nintendo will also follow. But the big question, as always, is when will PlayStation be doing their showcase? PlayStation is kind of weird the past few years. They have just decided not to do a big PlayStation showcase at all last year. It was only State of Play, and there's a big difference between a State of Play and the showcase. The showcase always has most of the in-house studios, like Spider-Man, if that shows up, or Wolverine, or maybe a new Ghost of Tsushima, that can show up at the showcase. First-party stuff can also show up at State of Play, but most of the time they are then focused on a particular game. The thing is, I am thinking we will see this PlayStation showcase in 3 months as a possibility. One is April, still this month. The other one is the most realistic one, I think, is May. And then the third one is June. Now, what is my thought of thinking of why I think this is in one of 3 months? First of all, we have the big rumor of Jeff Grubb that said, I heard the PlayStation showcase is earlier than Summer Game Fest a little bit. They want to be before the Summer Game Fest periods, which makes me think it's May, because Summer Game Fest wants to start in early June. And the second reason why I think it will be in one of these 3 months is because of Spider-Man 2. We have had new rumors and reports that Spider-Man 2 will be coming out in September. And if that's the case, they need to start marketing around this time, somewhere in April or May. Then they have a small 5-month window. But I have noticed that the marketing for PlayStation exclusives has become shorter and shorter and shorter. Take a look at God of War Ragnarok, that the marketing for that game was only maybe 3 months at the most. And a lot of companies are following now this kind of small marketing window cycle. Even Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda is doing that. Everything is more smaller window, closer to the release. We got the final trailer now 1 month before release. So I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation is doing the same thing for Spider-Man. What I think will happen is that Spider-Man 2 will have its own State of Play, just dedicated to that, and then the showcase next to it. Now the question is, they could also still show up Spider-Man at the showcase, but then have a State of Play after it, maybe somewhere, let's say around July. And that's what I'm thinking will happen. What I think will happen is we will see the PlayStation Showcase in May. And that's where we will see big updates towards, like a Ghost of Tsushima 2 teaser, the Wolverine game maybe, or Spider-Man 2 gameplay announcement, or something like that. New games, first-party stuff, but also third-party stuff. Keep in mind, we also have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that was supposed to launch this year, but I think that's not going to happen anymore. I think it will be delayed until early 2024. To be honest, I wouldn't mind. We already have the big Final Fantasy 16 at the end of June, so I am all good for Final Fantasy, to be honest, for this year. I don't mind if they wait till 2024 for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But I do think we might see an update for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at something like a PlayStation Showcase, depending if Square Enix is going to do their own showcase, yes or no. But I think the PlayStation Showcase is going to show up in May. That's my speculation. Now, it could also be late April, but I think that's a bit too early. And also, we already got the Final Fantasy 16 State of Play just a few days ago. So I think now that, okay, Final Fantasy 16 had April window for marketing. Let's do the big showcase in May. And then what I think will happen is that there will be another State of Play for Spider-Man, just Spider-Man alone, somewhere maybe in July. That's what I am speculating for now. I could be wrong. This is just based on my own knowledge of how PlayStation tends to do marketing these days. Jeff Grubb says it's earlier than Summer Game Fest. Just because he says that doesn't mean it will happen that way. Maybe the information will change. And they are going to be like, no, let's do it in June as well, maybe after Summer Game Fest. That's also a possibility. So keep that in mind, that this showcase might get delayed maybe until June. We also still have a lot of indie games that have marketing with PlayStation, like Little Devil Inside. We haven't heard anything of that indie game, and most of the time it showed up, it was at a PlayStation event. I think it has PlayStation exclusivity, it could be wrong. Also, you have Stellar Blade, which is a AA game from PlayStation. I think we will see that as well on a showcase. So there are some smaller games that are third party, also with marketing rights to PlayStation. And that all has to happen soon-ish, especially if these games are going to come out still in this year. We shall see how it's going to go, but in my opinion, I think the PlayStation Showcase is going to be in May. I forgot to give my thoughts on Final Fantasy 16 and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, the State of Play was so in-depth, and we saw gameplay stuff, how quests are going to work. A little bit of exploration. I wish they showed a bit more of exploration, because most of the stuff we've seen in this State of Play was kind of the similar kind of content what we saw with PAX East. If you guys have seen the PAX East live stream for Final Fantasy 16, they showed off icon battles yet again, and they showed off the difficulty accessories that you can wear to make the game easier. If you are not into action-based combat, if you are from the turn-based community, shall I say, because Final Fantasy has always been kind of a turn-based system. So I liked it that it was in depth, but I wish they showed a bit more on exploration front. I wanted to see what's going on in that big city they show with the crystal. And you know, I have one fear with this game, is that they are going to hammer on this hub system. And I hope that the hub is not going to be the only place that you can buy items and stuff like that. I want towns to be detailed. I want towns to be explorable, that we can find secrets in a town, do side quests, maybe buy items there. I want towns to be like feel lived in, shall I say, if that makes sense. And I don't hope that they lean too much on the hub to be like the only place where you can shop for items, stuff like that. That's my only fear I have with Final Fantasy 16. But for the rest, the game looks awesome, soundtrack is on point, boss battles are awesome, combat looks great, and I think the story will also be very good from what I've seen so far. And then Tears of the Kingdom. I thought this trailer was much better than what they showed previously. They showed off Ganon. I think that was necessary to have some sort of what's the story of going to be about. A bit more details. Thought that lacked a bit in the marketing of Tears of the Kingdom. There are people out there, I've seen it online, that are like, after one trailer, they are already like, oh no, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. I don't want to be spoiled, but I kind of find that a bit extreme. You can't watch any trailer then these days if you're that afraid of being spoiled just of one image of like the villain. I mean, you don't know any of the context anyways. You only know that Ganon is going to be in the game. So what? Okay. But that's my opinion. For the rest, I think the gameplay also looks great. You see a lot more of vehicles that are made with the Ultra Hand, I think it is, ability. Great stuff. And I thought they showed a bit of underground gameplay and it almost looked like a volcano section. I hope that's like a dungeon. I want to see more traditional dungeons back in Zelda. And I can't believe that they can do it with the Breath of the Wild approach. Just have the Breath of the Wild open world, but have more traditional dungeons there, and that you can complete them in any order. I know that's kind of difficult to make, but that would be the ultimate Zelda game. And if they could hammer more a bit on the story this time around, because I did think that it was the weakest part of Breath of the Wild. And I find this kind of weird. Everyone was complaining about the durability in Breath of the Wild. I did not care for that at all. I liked it that I had to switch up weapons, but that was a big complaint. And Nintendo's way of fixing that is basically to fuse weapons together. And I think it's a cool ability, but I don't know if that's kind of the solution to breaking weapons, because you have this already cool base weapon, sword for instance, that you find somewhere with a quest maybe or something. And then to extend its durability, you put something on it with fusing. It's only going to look more ugly, to be honest, in my opinion. So I don't think it's a good solution to the durability, but fine, you know. I don't mind, to be honest. I think the fusing ability is really cool, especially if you can put like these homing missiles that they did with the bird in the gameplay. For arrows, that's very going to be handy. I love the verticality of exploration with the ascent ability as well. So I am hyped for Tears of the Kingdom, and I already pre-ordered the collector's edition. That's one of my most hyped games next to Final Fantasy. So my day was amazing on Thursday when they showed both of those games off. Yeah, that's quickly my opinion of those games. Let me know what's your opinion of Final Fantasy 16 as well, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you guys hyped for that game? Thank you guys for watching. As always, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more gaming news. Normally I do gaming news. This was more of a speculation talking video for you guys. There's just not a lot of news now to do. Sorry about that, but I need to upload. But thanks for sticking with the channel if you're watching this. I really appreciate it. Visit my social media in the description down below as well. And I will see you guys in the next Get Rekt gaming news video. Bye bye.